Hello, hi guys. Before video, I have just shown the setup of how to create the Gherkin, the features and step definitions in the Codeceptjs. In this video, I'm going to continue with how we are going to actually write the basic feature files and how we are going to have that connection being made to the step definition files and how we can able to run the feature files. Okay, so basically in this video, I'm going to cover more about the BDD, how we are going to do it in a Codeceptjs. So for this, actually with the previous steps, we have created the feature file. So I'm going to rename this feature file to login. Then after having this feature, this Codeceptjs will generate the sample feature file to just give an idea how we can start with writing the feature files. So here what they are actually telling, so actually before even going to this step, let me give you a overview. In the Codeceptjs official page itself, we can find out the Gherkin, some details about the Gherkin language. So here we have some keywords like the feature, scenario, given, when and then. And we can have the keyword and also. So here what we are going to do is like whatever the steps we are going to follow on a particular page. So we are going to write it in a very readable way of scenarios on the feature file. So basically the feature file doesn't have any coding, just a line of sentences which replicate the steps we are going to follow to validate a particular scenario which relates to that complete feature. For example, if we have the login feature, here they are telling about the checkout feature. So in the checkout feature, we have different scenarios. For example, during the checkout, what and all we do add the items into the cart and we check out at the cart and we see the total value whether it is correct or not and how many quantities we have added. So everything will check there. So those and all will come under the scenarios, and checkout is a feature. So in that way we are going to write it out today, the steps in the feature file, and then we are proceeding with the step definitions, and then we will start with running the feature files. Okay, so let me, and here this is a sample demo site. So you can search on Google to have this list of demo websites, so there you can practice also. So here this one I have taken a very simple one which will have just the login and username, and we are going to click on this login button to just log in into that. And as it is a dummy site, so they have provided the usernames along with the password. So for this how we will write the feature file. Okay, so let me open this one, the login feature. So here what I'm going to do is this is a login feature, and in order to log in to the application, I want to give username and password. Okay, so this is basically what we do on the home page or wherever we need to provide our credentials and log in into the application. So here first what we need to do is like scenario. What would be the scenario here is need to enter the creds, which is credentials. So here I am telling like given I am on the home page, I am considering this page as a home page. Then I validate the title of the page along with the elements. So maybe here I change this scenario as validate home page. So before even we go enter the credentials, we just check whether all the elements whatever we are expecting to be on the home page are there or not. So for that I have written this scenario which is validate the home page. So given I'm on the home page, then I validate the title of the page along with the element. So here these and all elements I'm going to validate its presence in this particular scenario. So then I'm going to the other scenario which is where we enter the credentials and log into the application. So given I see the elements on page, then I enter username and password. Here maybe I can give when I enter username and password and I click on login button, then I should able to log in successfully. So here these are the two scenarios which on the login feature we are going to validate. Okay. So here this writing the feature file, I think it gives some basic idea. So it is very general usage of the terms here, the given, when, then and. Okay, and these are the keywords in the Gherkin language. Okay, so this is the feature. Now I am going to the steps, and now how these steps are connected to the features. So here on the feature file, whatever we have written under this scenario and the scenario description, like say whatever starts with given, then, when and these are all the step definitions what we think of. So for all these, what we need to do, we need to go to the steps file and have the same step whatever we have written on the feature file to be there here. Okay, so here I am going to have all those files here to be present, and given I am on the home page, and then we have this validate the title of the page and element. So I'm going to have this here. And then it is same with the others also. So you need to just have the step definitions for all those. So I'm going to do the same for the rest of the things. So basically having this BDD framework into the automation, it makes our work actually easy. At least in my personal opinion, I feel it gives the privilege to everyone to understand what what as a QA professional, what you are doing and what automation you are doing. So everyone can understand in a very easy way rather than going into the code and check something and validate something, or it give the better proof of statement or proof for our work what we do actually on the automation. So here, and one more thing, we need to make sure that whatever here we have given the given, then and all, it should be proper, and the on the step definition files we can just give it as a then. Basically the Codeceptjs or the BDD mainly concentrate on the step descriptions. Whatever we have given on the feature file, it should be matched whatever we have given on the steps.js file. Okay, so when and then I'm going to give here when, then. Okay, so this is how it actually works. So let me tell you in one more time like how it is actually working. So when we run the feature file, what it does is like it takes, this is the login feature file, and it will go scenario by scenario in a sequential order. For example, if you want to the steps whatever we have do for this one, I'm considering it, if you consider it as a E to E flow, so whatever you do on the first step, so you need to write it in a sequential way. So the scenarios whatever we have written on the login feature file, it will go in a sequential way. And here first it will validate the home page, and then it will come to the second scenario whatever we have written here. And in the validate home page, we have the first step what we are telling is like given I am on the home page, so this particular one, it will go and check inside the steps.js file. So it will check any step is having the same name which we have given on the login.feature file for the particular scenario. If it finds it, then it will just point out here and it will go perform whatever the logic we have written under this particular step definition and step file. Okay, so this is how it works. So now if we want to write it here, we have the, as we are following the page object model, so we are going to have all the elements here into the particular login.js file. Okay, so to have this, we need to have the elements here, and I'm going to point out this one. So this is how we need to get the element locators here. So here what it shows is the class. So here this is fine, this is the class name. So what I'm going to do is create elements here, object, then inside that I'm creating the page title, and for that it is this one. Sorry, here after page title, whatever the elements we need to get, those and all we can highlight. So this is the username, we want to get it. Placeholder is username. ID, I think ID username is fine. So this is username, and I'm going to give it like this. Then password, password also, ID is password. So I'm going to have the same like this. Now we need to have this login button. So here we have this ID login button. Okay, so these are all the elements what we need to have it here, and then we can have the functions below here. So now we need to validate home page. So how we are going to validate the home page? So what we have written here is like, given I am on the home page. So first we need to check this one, like whether I am on the home page or not. So to confirm that, we can always rely on the page titles. So here we have already took that one. So I'm going here, and where is this page? Maybe I will give it as verify home page. So what I do here is like this dot elements dot, so I have given this page title, so selecting that page title dot, and we have here, if we go in the playwright, this is the playwright helper. You can see all the functions here whatever are there. So here what I need to do is like I need to get the text from it. So what I do, I go here, grab text from. So here they are using this await operator. It is a JavaScript, so we need to have this async await to resolve the to resolve so here we are going to use the async await to resolve the promises. So here they are already mentioning us that we need to use await to grab the text from any element on that particular page. So here to use await, we need to use async. So now what I'm doing is await I dot grab text from grab text from, and this one I'm going to save it in another variable, and here what I do is like I need to check the text whether it is equal or not, or maybe I can directly use this title equals. So whatever you can use that. So I'm going to use this I dot c text equals title, comma. So what they have given here is this swag labs. So I'm going here if you see it is swag labs, I just give here. So in this particular function we are validating whether we are on the home page or not. Now what we have written is like we need to check whether all the elements are there or not. So for that home page elements. So here again to check for the presence of the element, you can see IC element. So checks that the given element is visible, element is located by CSS or XPath. So what we need to do, we need to just give I.C element. So here there is no any resolving of promises, and we no need to use async here, and I'm telling this dot elements dot username and I.C element, this dot elements dot password, C element, this dot elements dot login button. So these are all the second step. Okay, and here if we go there, so till here we have completed, and then this one I see the elements on the page. I think this particular step is not needed, or we are all validating everything here. So what I do is like we can just follow from here. So here what I have written is like when I enter the username and password. So now we need to have a function to enter the username and password. So here we can give enter username and password. Okay, for this entering also we have a function here already, which is fill field, I dot fill field. So here if you see what they are saying is like we need to have send the element and we need to pass the text, so it will fill it. So I'm going to use this one I dot fill field. So this dot elements dot username, and here they have mentioned some particular user, so I'm going to use that, and I dot fill field this dot elements dot password dot, and here this is the password. Okay, so enter username and password. Now we need to click login button. Okay, so I'm going to, we have the function already, so click, I'll show it again here. We go, here it is. So we have the click, and even we can use directly the click link function. So we can directly use this click and this dot elements dot, and then login button. That's it. And if you want to wait, give some wait time, here we can give. So it will be in seconds. So you can give 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that to wait for that particular element. Okay. Now this is all the functions. So now what we do is we will go to step definition and steps file. Here we are going to have this page name injected here. Before that, we need to go to the configuration file and make sure that we have already given our page file under the include section so that we can import it directly. So I'm just copying this one and I'm going to the step definition file and I'm going to give it here. Okay, and now we can able to access whatever the functions we have written. Here I need to give this and the login page and whatever and all we have here. For example, verify home page title, I'm going to give it here. Okay, and in the same way, login page dot, we have the other function, so validating, so verify home page elements, so I'm going to give that here. And one more thing here we need to make sure is like whether that particular function is having async. So here this particular one is having async, so we should not forget to give async here, and we need to let it know it is there is a promise to get resolved, and it will know by using the async and await. Otherwise the steps and all will be executed before and after, and it will fail, which is not the proper failure. And for the other functions we don't have anything async await, so for the remaining and all we no need to keep anything. Now I'm going here again, so verify homepage elements is done. Enter username and password, so I'm going here. Actually we remove this particular function, so I'm removing it. Here the login page dot enter username and password. Now we need to have this click on login button, so I'm going to copy this one and have it here. So the login page dot login button. Okay, so this is all the functions here, but to write this function we need to check what will happen after clicking the login button. So we will check that now. Standard user and the secret sauce login. Okay, so after clicked on login we can see some products. So by making sure that it is on the products page, that it has been logged in successfully. So for that what we need to do, we need to have this one products, so it is a span dot title, so I'm going to give it like this. So it is a span dot title. So what I do here, we can create the other products page, or in the same here in this page itself you can have this products button, but I suggest to have it in a products page as it is a demo one. I'm just creating it here rather than having other page and all. So this is the products page title, so what I do here is like, so verify login successfully. So I will wait for that elements dot products page title. I can wait for some time. That's it. So verify login successfully. Here I'm going to give the so login page dot this one. Okay, I think this is done now. Now what we need to do is like we need to run the scripts to make sure whether these are all functions are working fine or not. So to run that, what we need to do is we need to give npx Codeceptjs run. You can see it is actually picked up. the login feature, and it has been open. Okay, actually we have done one mistake. We didn't provide any URL here to which page it should be launched. So for this also we can go directly here, we can change it. Maybe I'll reopen it again. So here, before also we have given this, but we forgot to give one step here. Where it is? Here, I will show it here. I.am on page. So if we give like this, it will pick up from the configuration file. Otherwise, we can give directly URL here. Otherwise, we can append to the existing URL which we have given on the Codeceptjs file. For example, assume that we have given the github.com on the configuration file and we have given /login here. So what it do is like github.com/login. So it will append whatever we have given here. So now I'm going to give this here to launch it. So before we didn't do it, so it doesn't know on which page it needs to go on. It needs to validate all these things. That's why it was showing the blank page for us. Now we will run it again. So now you can see it has used this one. Again, one more mistake I have done here. So as we are passing this slash, so we no need to pass that here. Okay, that's what I told, that it will append whatever we have given on the I'm on page to the existing URL on the configuration file. So as it has given the double backslashes here there on the web page, it couldn't identify the proper web page. So now I'm going to run it again. So now you can see it has been loaded. And there are mistakes, I think. Yes. Okay, it says that this page. So guys, here it is failing because the browser is getting open between the two scenarios. So if you go and check here, steps file, sorry, in the feature file, so we have two scenarios. So here what it is happening after running each scenario, it is restarting the browser. So that's where actually it is throwing this error, because it needs to wait for some time and fill the field. But before even the elements are available on the page, it is finishing its searching and it is coming out of the throwing error, that element not found. How I am telling this one is like, because so the same elements here we are passing, but it is showing that it is validated and it is working fine. Okay, so to actually make this browser not to restart in each and every scenario, we have the configuration on the Playwright which is restart actually the false. So I'll show you this one here, the config. The config, if we see the restart, so here it shows this information. So but actually there is a one issue here. So even though we keep restart false, it is not working. So you see here, so it is not working again. So when I searched on Google, they're actually asking us to upgrade the version to make it work, because the fix is available on the further versions. Otherwise we need to degrade the version. So right now if I go to package.json file, it shows 3.12. So I'm going to have this to 3.3.0 and I'm going to install that. Okay, so now we try to run it. It still stays the same. Now what we do here, Here actually they are mentioning, let me show you that. So here they are saying to restart config we can keep to false or context. So I'm going to keep the context here on the configuration file. Okay, so now I'm going to run it. Still it didn't get fixed. After searching, I found out that restart by giving it as a keep, then it will won't restart the browser in between the scenarios. So guys, now I'm going to try with the restart set to the keep, and then I'm going to run it. So you can see the scripts now running properly. So I'm okay. So here I'm using this verbose keyword to just have the detailed steps here, whether we can see which and step is failing, which step is passing. So here, so to have that logs very properly, you can use the verbose here. So now you can see it worked fine. Okay, so this is how we need to actually run the scripts and the Codeceptjs with the feature files. So, and again, this is the basic Gherkin we have used here, and we have the concept of using the advanced Gherkin also. So advanced Gherkin, let me go through here, advanced Gherkin. So advanced Gherkin is like we have the another keyword which is background, and we have this tables implemented, and we have scenario outline and giving the lot of multiple test data into one single scenario. Okay, so here let me tell you what is the background and all. So what is the background here? So background is like, for example, if there is a repeating step for the feature for every scenario. For example, for every scenario you need to open a particular page, or you need to have the mandatory login for every scenario. In that case, instead of writing given I am on home page, given I am on home page on every scenario, what you can do is like keep all those repetitive steps here under background. So here under background, how they are mentioning, so you can just, instead of scenario, you can keep it as a background. So whatever the steps we have written under the background, this Codeceptjs is going to consider it as a repetitive steps before executing the scenario. So for example, here I have given I have login creds ready. For example, maybe this is the common step which we need to do for every scenario. So before, without the background, what we will do is like we will always write the step here that given I have login creds ready, and given I have login creds ready each and every scenario. But with the background, you can take out the repetitive steps, and you can keep that mandatory steps that needs to be happen before running every scenario under the background keyword. Okay, this is the advanced Gherkin, one of the feature of the advanced Gherkin. And we have one more thing is like the tables. So this tables is like we can actually give one table under a particular step, and this table we can pass in the step definition file. So here you can see this is in the inside the step definition file. So we are saying that under this particular step, whatever we have given the tabular format, we are going to pass it inside the table. And how we actually access the Excel table, like rows and columns, we can access the in the same way. So with the loop, you can access everything, and you can perform whatever you want to do in the single step with the multiple data in a table format. This is a table. And we have one more thing which is examples under the scenario outline. So this is the examples, and these examples we can use only if we use the keyword scenario outline. So the scenario outline will come into the picture. For example, this is a particular scenario, and this particular scenario you need to do for the multiple test data. So the single scenario with the multiple test data, in that case you can use the scenario outline. Whereas table, in a single step you are going to pass the multiple test data. So that is a table. So here for a particular scenario, if you want to run it in the with a different test data, and you can use this one. We say we can implement this one in our feature file also. So here we have the username and password, correct? They have given different usernames. So if we go here, they have provided different usernames, so we can check this one with in this way. I'm going to change this to scenario outline, and as I have used scenario outline, then I have the provision of using example. So here it is inserted. So here no need of header 2 and 3 for me, because I'm going to have only the multiple username alone. So whatever the here we have given the keyword as a username, it should be same as the one which we give here in an example. So you see here, so they have given price, so we need to have the same keyword, otherwise it can't identify in which particular string we are going to pass this multiple test data. So here I'm going to use this username and whatever they have given here. So they are telling standard user, and then locked out user, and then problem user, and then performance glitch user. Okay, and for all these things the password is same. So here what we are doing is like we are going to execute this scenario 4 times with the multiple test data. Of course, if we want to do this, definitely then we need to have to do some changes on here also. Here we have this, I entered the username and password, but now we are going to make it as a string. So here if you see in the step def changes, and we need to mention it as a string. So what it does is like we have made it as a dynamic kind of step definition description. So here what we have given is I entered the username and password. So I have given the same here. Basically this represents the starting of the text, and this dollar represents the ends of the text, and this one I'm telling here whatever it comes, it needs to take it as a string, and we know that string is a username. So I'm going to pass it here username, and I'm going to pass it here as a username. So what it does is like, and now we have changed this method. So now we need to go to the login page, and this here we need to give that username, and instead of passing here I'm going to use it as a user name. Okay, and but before filling the field, now it should always clear the field, correct? So now for that what we can do, we can go and check here what is the function for that. So clear field, so we have this clear field, and I'm going to use this here with this dot elements dot username. That's it. Okay, let us try this one now. Okay, so here one more thing we need to change, because now we are inside this products page and it is not able to identify that particular element, so that's why it is throwing this error. So here in this particular, so basically this scenario outline we can use in a particular scenario where we can actually check it. So here what I'm going to do is like, for this particular one I'm going to add to load, I'm going to add, just to show you in the demo video, I'm going to just have this one, I'm on page, and I'm going to just say this one. Okay, and I'm just giving explicit wait to just have this one work. So now you can see it just went to the products page and again it came here. As we have given kind of 10 seconds time, it is waiting every time. Okay, so this is somehow, so this is the error messages I think they have added for the logged out user, problem user and performance glitch user. So they will have that every error messages here, that's why they are having the different usernames. Okay, and I hope this particular execution of scenario outlined with the examples is clear to you now. So with this video, I hope you have got the better idea of using the BDD framework with basic Gherkin language and the advanced Gherkin language, and how you can run the step definition files along with the feature files, and how that actually the connection happens, and how it identifies the step definition file along with the feature in the with the step definition what we have given on the feature file. So see you guys in my next video. Please subscribe my channel and show your support and love for me. Thank you guys.